video editing. Mainly my goal for this mastermind group is to be consistent with my editing works and to be able to practice often and to be accountable to my group, not just editing, but to be able to edit, learn new stuff whilst I'm editing as well. Yes, that's just about it for me.
And how do you feel about joining the mastermind?
Oh yes, yes. So for me, this mastermind is something that like already. I mean, I'm happy to join because there are a number of times I've been trying to create a mastermind with like-minded people, but here's the case whereby your energy is not lived up to. They do not have the same energy as you. So always you are left alone to be accountable to yourself. So I'm just hoping we would all be accountable to ourselves and be consistent with it throughout the month and months ahead. So I'm really, really excited to be part of this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mommy Teacher says she's outside, so she's going to type. So while she's typing, um, I'll just give you the background of the mastermind. So this is something that came up to me in my quiet time. And then some weeks ago, I saw on Instagram, there was this lady, this Nigerian lady who is very creative. She creates stuff, innovative, I should say. And every time, the one video that I saw, she had created a deep freezer where she could freeze her meat and fish and food and all of that frozen stuff out of aluminum. And people in the comments, all they could say was, I hope you get celebrated for your good work. I hope you get the recognition. And from where I was sitting, I felt like, no way, this is not what we should be doing as Africans. Because in the Western world, what people would have done was that pulled resources together, even if not one person. A lot of people together would have pulled resources, if not financial, maybe their skill sets, maybe training other people. She could train other people. Other people could come in with maybe legal backup to help her to create a business and be compliant and all of that. But out here, if you're doing something, people just clap for you and leave you to yourself. So that is when it came to me that instead of complaining that aren't people doing this thing, I could be the one to also support people in the way that I'm seeing that other people should be supported. Yes. So I think Mami Teshua has responded. Okay. She's Georgina Donko. She graduated not long ago, and her milestone is to be able to bring her ideas into reality. And she's very excited to be joining this cohort. Thank you, Georgina. We are excited to have you as well. I especially am very excited to have you because I know that there's something you really want to do, and you've been putting it aside for a while. But yeah, let's move on. This mastermind is going to be based on Nehemiah chapter. This is not spiritual or religious, but while I was studying for this, that is what came to me. The scripture that came to me is a story of someone called Nehemiah. And this person, at the time, he and the Israelites were captured. But somehow he was able to build a wall for the Israelites within 52 days. And that is something that is sort of out of the ordinary because how do you build a vast tall wall within 52 days? And if you read the story, um, just write it down and go and read it later. Nehemiah chapter 1 to chapter 6. At first, because he was in captivity, he was afraid to go and ask the king that there's something I need to do for my people, the Israelites. Our walls are broken, and we need to be able to build it back. But he did it afraid. That's the first thing that I think that we should take notice of with this milestone that we are putting together or we are trying to achieve. The first thing is that you would be scared and you would feel like there are obstacles that you may not be able to meet your milestone because of these obstacles. But do it anyway. Do it scared. That's the first thing I would say. Do it scared. The next thing is that there were a lot of setbacks. People came and mocked him. People came and tried to sabotage him. There was even nearly an attack on them. When I say attack, I mean actual war. But this is what he did. He prayed about it. Not only did he pray about it, but he also strategically positioned people in places armed with like shields and swords that in case that they were being attacked, though they were building the wall, they were still armed. So that is strategy. That you are not just praying and hoping, but you also know that you are armed with something like a mood, something that you know that we are going to go through this and we are actually going to achieve what we want to achieve at the end of the day. And in 52 days, it was recorded that they were able to build this wall despite everything that happened. So, inferring from that, in 30 days, I think it's possible that in 30 days, we should be able to hit our milestones despite every obstacle that comes in. Who is with me? If you agree, just say something like yes or share an emoji. Okay, great. So we are going to move on now. So week one, this is week one, and I want to officially welcome you both here again. On week one, we are talking about clarity and building foundation for our milestone. It's all about transforming vague dreams into crystal clear, actionable goals that you can actually achieve. And that takes us to the week one focus or theme. You can't hit a target you can't see. Usually, some people really fail because sometimes there are things that I really wanted to do, but I have been stalling on it. Not that I even failed at it. I didn't do it at all because my goals were vague and I didn't have clarity on what exactly I wanted. I know that, okay, I want to sell shoes, but what kind of shoes? To who? Is it to corporate people or children's shoes and all of that? So you need to streamline your efforts so that you're not wasting your energy, your time, your money, your attention, and your momentum on things, on efforts that do not go anywhere, where you're running around in circle. So this week, you're going to fix that. You're going to learn how to transform unclear ambitions into laser focused milestones with clear success criteria. Okay. So the SMART milestone method, I know that when I was in the university, I learned about SMART goals. And I'm sure that some of us here have learned about it, but it's what has worked for me. And so I think that I want to share with you how we can use the SMART goal method to achieve our goals. So specific. So S is for specific. Specific is basically eliminating all sorts of ambiguity that, for instance, if you want to um, sell food, which people are you selling food to? At what cost? And how much are you expecting to pay? Or how much are you expecting that they pay you? And how much revenue are you expecting to generate at the end of the month? That will determine how you price the food and all of that. The next thing is measurable. Measurable helps you define the exact metrics for tracking success. So the example I just gave, it sort of encompasses all of this. So you need to be specific, measurable, achievable. Achievable is setting ambitious yet realistic goals. In our case, it's for 30 days, even though it's for a bigger picture, but we need to start from somewhere, and that sets the 30 days. It also has to be relevant, that is, connect to your bigger vision and purpose, and it has to be time bound. So you don't say that, oh, I want to learn video edit, I want to be consistent and all of that. What are the timelines that maybe, even though it's for 30 days, by day 20 day, I should be very perfect and even be working for other people who would pay me at the level that I am in. So this is for McNeil. So I would like to ask if we've all gotten what I just shared. The next session is going to be the hot seat exercise. So even though we have shared our goals, I realized that McNeil's goal, both goals were not very smart. So you didn't use the specific, measurable, attainable, and time bound or relevant or and time bound. So we want to take it again within 10 minutes, each person, or within 5 minutes. It doesn't have to take so long. So what are we going to start with? McNeil, let's start with you. I'm sure you can talk. Please, let's
Yes.
be quick. Yes. So let's take your goal again and make it smart. So we know we are making headway.
Yes. So with the editing, right?
Can you please speak up, McNeil?
Okay. So editing at least two footages a week. Is that okay?
What is your main goal at the end of the 30 days?
My main goal is to learn, certain specifics in relating to editing.
Learn certain specifics.
Yes.
So what are the specifics?
Learning speed ramping, learning speed ramping. The other ones I've not
Okay.
noted it down, but speed ramping is the major one.
So learn speed ramping.
Yes.
So you don't only just want to learn speed ramping, but you also want to be an expert at it, at least close to expertise. Because if you're
Yes.
doing speed ramping for 30 days, dear, if you are giving 1 hour to it, or even 2 hours or 3 hours, at least it should get you somewhere close to expert. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of learn, maybe try to be an expert. So master, master speed ramping in relating to editing in 30 days. Now that's quite specific. Jenna, what do you think? Is that a smart goal according to what we spoke about? Is Jenna here with us? Is Jenna in the room with us?
And she's here.
Okay. So I also think it's a smart goal. Then after here, we are going to break it down, but we won't break it down now. After Jenna takes her goal, then we can break yours down. Or while Jenna is typing, let's break it down. I wanted to take Jenna's specific goal, sorry, smart goal, then we can move on to the next thing, which is reverse engineering. Learning reverse engineering is what will help us break things down to make it easier. Because sometimes when a goal looks so big, it can seem overwhelming. And for me, that is how I procrastinate. If it looks overwhelming, it looks too big, you have to break it down and see, okay, this is where I want to get to. So for the reverse engineering, it's sort of like reverse psychology. So you're going to look at things from the future to the present. So for instance, if you want to be a minister of trade and industry in the future, you should know that maybe that will take you 5 to 10 years, depending on where you're at. And if it will take you 10 years, in 5 years' time, you should have had an education or volunteered for projects or taken up jobs that puts you in that room. In 2 years, you should be, yeah, volunteering, do a lot of volunteering work in that field. In 1 year, you should be taking an education that puts you, that directs you in that space. Do you get it? Today, you should have made the decision and said, "Ah, I'll be a minister of trade and industry. So what can I do?" Do you get it? So there's an example here that says, I need 50 signups and convert 20 of these signups to paying. So what do you need? I need a strong conversion funnel to be able to, I need a strong conversion funnel to be able to get this 50 signups in 30 days. But while creating the strong conversion funnel, within week 3, to have these 50 signups, I need traffic. So that's like lead generation. You can't get to the 50 signups without people seeing what you are doing. So to get people to see what you're doing, you would need to create ads or go out and do some outreach. That is in week 3. And so in week 2, to run the ads, you need the product ready because you cannot be, unless it's a digital product where you can put a placeholder ahead of it so that when people launch, or maybe a physical product where people pre-order and you use their money to work on it for them. If it's not that, then you need the product ready. It means that you need to launch an MVP. That's exactly what I did with Bird. I launched an MVP before I had to tell people that I have a product that helps businesses run smoothly and easily. And in week 1, to launch, you need to build it. So you begin building in week 1, of course. So what are exactly I supposed to do today? Today means taking the decision and putting things together to finalize the feature list and begin coding. Do we get it? Are you in the room with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So that is it for reverse engineering. So McNeil, this week we are going to be working on reverse engineering our goals. By Wednesday, we should have posted something. Even tomorrow, we should have posted something that helps us begin our goals. So there's this philosopher named Ivan Yalom. This is a man, or should I say physiotherapist? This is a man who was born in the slums by immigrant parents. And though he was born in the slums, he understood that he wanted something. He wasn't like these people. Because if you are born in the slum, you would know that the people can be very rowdy and behave in certain ways that can be dangerous. But this person, at a very young age, was more interested in books and learning and curiosity. So instead of being out there, he dedicated a lot of his time to reading books and being curious. And at the end of the day, you'd realize that he didn't end up like environment he came out from. So at the end of the day, his theory is called the existential theory. The existential theory states that you can make your life the way you want it to be, despite the background that you're coming from. So I believe that okay, despite whatever is wrong with what, if there's any obstacle you're facing, or despite where you come from, it doesn't matter whether you have money or not, whether you're educated or not, whether you have a degree or not, whether you know people or not. Once you start something, once you know that this is what I want, you can start it and it will be successful. So that's the only thing I want to say, to encourage you to actually take your goals seriously, because there are obstacles. The obstacles may be mental, psychological. Perhaps you failed several times and you feel like, I can't do this because I've failed before. I've tried and I have failed. So now I don't want to do it anymore. That is an obstacle, a factor that holds you back. It could also be that you don't have the money that you think you need to get things done. But what if there are other alternatives to explore? Are you ready or looking to explore those alternatives? For McNeil, it could be that you are in school and you have to study this as well. You have to learn to do speed ramp and video editing and all that. For the sake of your career, what would you choose? If you weigh the options, what would you rather do? Please give me a second, okay? Thank you. Yes, so where was I? Just so I know that you were listening.
You're asking what would I do based on
Yeah, what
career
decision would you
wise?
rather make, weighing your options? Do you get it? Or what alternative would you explore to make sure that you excel in
Yes.
school and excel in mastering speed ramping? Because at the end of the day, you need to make money. At the end of the day, you need to be an expert at something. At the end of the day, you need to prove yourself to yourself. There's a mountain that you need to surmount. And that leads me to the foundation for motivation, where I speak about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And for me, I don't think that motivation is a thing we should rely on. It's just like feelings that today I don't feel motivated enough, so I'm not going to do this or that. But rather, we should be more focused on making a decision. People call it discipline. Also, for the philosopher's story that I shared, he calls it meaning. That you are finding meaning in what you are doing. That's why you keep going despite the difficulties. So, understanding the fundamental drivers behind human motivation, sort of like meaning, is important for setting goals that truly resonate with you as an individual. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy illustrates how basic needs must be met before individual needs can pursue higher level growth and self-fulfillment. By aligning your goals with these intrinsic motivators, you can tap into a deeper well of drive and purpose instead of being misaligned. I believe so much in alignment because if you do things that are outside of your path as an individual, you are going to struggle. And I've seen it, it has happened to me and other people. If you do things that are outside of your path, or what you feel like your purpose or what gives you meaning just because of other people. Sometimes you make decisions because of the environment, your family, or your lacking factors. When I say lacking factors, I mean things you think you do not have. it sort of makes it difficult for you to achieve your goals because you find no meaning in them. Yeah, so the physiological needs are like the basic needs that I believe that everyone here at least has had those needs because if not, then you're in survival stage and it will be difficult for you to try to look to your actual goals or find meaning in yourself that okay, why I need food to eat. So anything that gives me food is what I will look to. And the goals there, it should be at the back because the food is the most important thing. So while looking at your goals, you should also make sure that you're actually taking care of yourself. And thankfully, I believe that everyone's physiological needs here have been met, or some have been met, others haven't been met. Because I know some people have insomnia that they are unable to sleep. Though sleep is like a basic need. And I also believe that s- some of our safety needs may not be met because not everyone is employed. Not everyone will be employed. Not everyone has property. Not everyone may be financially stable. And so, not being able to have all those things, instead of seeing it as a lack, why don't you transform it into meaning that having these things would actually help me? So, it should be the reason behind your I don't want to say hustle, but your work because hustle is hustle is quite ghetto, but it should be the reason behind the things that you do, the milestone that you're trying to achieve. Love and belonging, self-esteem needs are the most important. But let me take love and belonging first. Speak of friends, family, sense of connection, and community. And that is why we are here. That's the point of the whole mastermind. Mastermind dates back to the longest I could remember or that I know of. And it's basically people of like-mindedness. I know I have friends who decided that they were going to form mastermind thing. The thing about being aligned is the energy and the willingness to be a part of something. That is why I'm encouraging us to actually put ourselves in this. I have a friend who created a mastermind group with her other friends. They all wanted to travel out of the country. They all studied engineering. They were in the same class actually. They had plans to travel outside. You realize that one person went ahead, and the next year another went, the next year another went, the next year another went. They all didn't go at the same time, but nobody left anyone behind because the person who goes ahead of the other is able to see more resources or help in certain ways that they couldn't have if they were behind. And those who are behind as well are able to support in ways that they can. It doesn't have to be financial or monetary, but with ideas, with motivation, with knowing that you have a community and you have people that you can be accountable to. It pushes you to actually do what you need to do because you have that community, people that you see that they actually care about what you are trying to reach. And the next thing is the self-esteem needs. One thing about achieving good is just like failure. Once you keep failing and failing and failing, if you don't have a strong heart, you would begin to call yourself a failure because, ah, at the main just me, one thing I'm trying to do, I can't get it correct. You begin to lose your self-esteem and all of that. But if you're able to meet your goals and your needs, you'd realize that you have some respect for yourself and trust in yourself. And that creates a domino effect or a ripple effect where you keep that trust enables you to take bigger decisions. And being able to achieve those bigger decisions and milestones gives you more trust in yourself. And before you realize it, you have achieved your full potential or your personal growth or your creative endeavors. So that is the um basically the reason why we are doing this. And I want to encourage every one of you to take this seriously because at the end of the day, I too have my goal. Besides wanting this to work for everyone, I have my personal goal. And I'm hoping to achieve at the end of the 30 days as well. So this framework helps us recognize